Hi everyone, and thank you for joining again. In this video I will show you how you can make this beautiful cardigan here. I wear a size S to M, which is a 34 to 36, and I will give you the exact stitch count for this size, but I will as well explain you how you can adjust this cardigan to your size or to different yarns and hook sizes that you might use. This is the yarn that I use. Here you have all the details. And I will work with a 4mm hook. As usual, I will write you a detailed overview of all the materials that I use in the video description. So please check out there to find all the details that you need. We start our cardigan with a slip knot, and then we will have to make a long chain like this. And for my size I will make 202 chains. 202 chains. When your chain is finished, you can place it on your shoulder like this and see how long your cardigan will be. So if you would like to make a longer cardigan, then just keep adding chains here, and if you would like to make a shorter cardigan, then remove some chains. So the length of the chain determines how long your cardigan will be. Now we start in chain number 3 from the hook and make our first half double crochet there. And now we go back all the way with half double crochet. This is our cardigan, our first row. Now we chain 2, turn around, and from now on we will always work back loop only. And in this way you just go on making 200 half double crochet per row, and in total you make 22 rows. So 200 half double crochet per row and make 22 rows. When the 22 rows are finished, you can make the next fit check. Place the part on your shoulder like this. Keep in mind that we will make a little edge here where we will later fix the buttons. This part is about 5 centimeters wide. Now you should be able to touch the sides here while the middle part remains in its place, like this. So you see, I don't pull it to the side, and the sides can touch each other. For the back panel, you now check which stitch is now round about 5 centimeters below your neck, and this is where our next row will stop. So let's have a look at it in detail. This is our side part. And for my size, this is row 23, where I worked 97 half double crochet, back loop only. Then I chain 2 and now go back and forth with 97 half double crochet for 22 rows. In the end, the panel will look like this. So we have the side and the back part here. This is the back part. And to see if it sits right, we will make another fit check. So we have the 5 centimeters to our neck on this side, and there should be round about 5 centimeters as well. So if it fits like this, this is fine. So the back panel, 22 rows with 97 half double crochet. Now I already made row 23, which also has 97 half double crochet. And now to start the second side panel, we will make 103 chain stitches. So the 97 half double crochet that we already have, plus the 103 chains that we will now make, are in sum the 200 stitches that we have in our first side panel. So this is how it looks like. This side and this chain should now have the same number of stitches. And then we add 2 chains for the turn. And starting in chain number 3 from the hook, we'll now work half double crochet all the way back. And as soon as you reach the panel for the back, you start to work back loop only again. And in this way you will work the same number of rows on the second panel like we have on the first panel. For me this were 22 rows. So you just go back and forth, chain 2 at the end and work 200 half double crochet for 22 rows. In the end, this is our cardigan. 22 rows on this side, 22 rows for the back panel and 22 rows on this side. I cut the thread here and weave it in. Afterwards you place this panel on your shoulder and check where your armholes should start. Then you mark these stitches, and for me the arm itself has 68 stitches, which means I counted 66 stitches from both sides. Now we will attach the thread again. You have to make sure to attach it in the right direction so that it fits to the pattern, to the stripe pattern. And as I said, count it from the edge to my marking here. It's 66 stitches on both sides, which means that there remain 68 stitches for my sleeve. So if you would like to make your sleeve wider or tighter, then just move your markings to the side or to the middle more. Now this is how we attach the thread, and then we again work half double crochet until we reach the other mark. So, and as soon as you reach this mark here, you chain 2, turn around and go back 68 half double crochet, back loop only. And in total you make 44 rows. Let's have a quick look on the other side. This is the wrong side. This is the other side. I haven't done the markings here, but you will do them in the same stitch like on the other side. And on this side you have the top of the half double crochets. And here you have to make sure then that you attach the thread back loop only and in line with the pattern. And another hint for the sleeve I'm currently working on. This is where we attach the thread with 2 chains. So you can see it here. In the second row, you have to work in this chain 2 area, because otherwise you would reduce your row to 67 stitches. So to make sure that you have 68 stitches here, you have to use the chain 2 area. Only in this row. From the next row on, the chain areas won't count as stitches. And as I said, You then work 44 rows with 68 stitches, half double crochet, back loop only. The last row, row number 45, we will start the reduction for our sleeve. So in this row, you start in the first stitch, but then you only work in every second stitch. And as you can see, I work in both loops again. So here you can see that it curls to the inside and gets smaller. So this is how it looks in the end. And you end the row with 2 half double crochet. Then you just cut the thread, pull it through and weave it in. Now this is our cardigan so far. I already weaved in all the ends here and decided which side will be the right side. And in the next step we start down here. So we will now crochet the parts together, which means you place them on each other and check on both sides which is the corner stitch. So the very first stitch of both sides. And of course you place your cardigan right side on right side, the left side is outside now. This is where you poke in. Through both sides, of course, like this. Then you attach the thread, you pull it through, then chain 1, and now you go on stitch by stitch, poking through both sides. Like this, and work single crochet through them like this. And always make sure that you use the right loops so that you don't skip a loop on either side, but just go on loop by loop and make single crochet. Now I'm here at the underarm where the sleeve starts, and the loops look a little different here, the edges. So I will show you a few stitches of what I'm doing here, but actually it doesn't really matter which loops you use, but you just have to look that your sleeve lays flat and that the loops are neighboring each other. So these are, for example, the loops that I use, always making sure that my sleeve lays perfectly flat and just using the loops that are naturally placed next to each other in this way. Now this is our single crochet seam so far. As I said, everything lays nice and flat, and on the right side it looks like this. And we will now go on and work our little cuff here. For the cuff, so this is just a close-up of where you have to end your seam. And for the cuff, we will now go on with 9 chain stitches. Then starting in the second chain from the hook, we will make single crochet all the way back. So in sum we will have 8 single crochet. With the last single crochet, we will fix the cuff to our sleeve. Therefore, we will poke in, pull the first loop, and then you always poke in the stitches of the sleeve and pull the closing loop through the leaf like this and through the loops on your hook. This is how it should look like. Then you chain 1, turn around, and now we work back loop only. I'm sorry, that was wrong. Back loop only. And work single crochet all the way back. all the way back, as I said, then chain 1, go back all the way with single crochet, and we will have a look again how to connect the cuff to the sleeve. So this is the next stitch, and we will now use every second stitch. So we poke in, draw the first loop, and now draw the closing loop through the second loop of the sleeve. Then chain 1, turn around, chain 1 again in the end, and in this way you go back and forth, single crochet, back loop only, and always use every second stitch of the sleeve to connect the cuff. In the end, I made 35 rows for my cuff here. Just check if it fits well, and if it does. So if you have to adjust it, you see that you have here little space where you could squeeze in 2 further rows if you need. But if it fits, then chain 1, and for the last row just poke in both sides of your cuff like this. Like this, and then again just work single crochet through all these loops. And as soon as you worked through all of these loops, you just cut the thread, pull it through, and weave the end in. And your first side of the cardigan is nearly finished. And for the second side, you can see that the back side of your cardigan is up here. And now you just repeat the very same for the second sleeve. So you start in this little edge here, and I will just show you where you have to poke in. This is the first half double crochet of the first side, and then the first half double crochet of the other side. This is where you have to attach the thread, and then you just single crochet all the stitches together like we just did for the other side. This is your cardigan so far. And now we will start for our little button edge here and start at this corner. Again, starting in this very first stitch here, we will attach our thread . and then make 8 chains. Eight chains. And now again, starting in the second chain from the hook, we will go back all the way with single crochet. And again, we will use the last stitch to attach our edge here to the main part. So you pull the closing stitch, closing loop through the first stitch here and close your single crochet. Chain 1, turn around, now go back again with single crochet, back loop only, in the end you chain 1 again, turn around and go back again. So let's have a look again how to connect the edge to the main part. Poke in, draw a loop, and draw the closing loop through the main part. So on this side it worked very well for me to use every second stitch, but here it is more important that the piece lays very flat. So if it wrinkles up when you use every second stitch, then you can also use every stitch or vary here a little bit. Now, to make the holes for our buttons, you first have to check how wide your button is. So you just place it on and you can see that there are 2 stitches on both sides of the button left. So the button itself is 3 stitches wide. Which is why we will make 3 chains after making 2 single crochet, then skip the next 3 stitches and make 2 single crochet. My first button hole is in row 15 here, because I like the first button to be a little bit further away from the cardigan edge, and the next buttons will be in row 12 counted from this row on. So this is row number 15, and then from the next row on row number 15, and then you count 12, 12 and 12. and always make in the row number 12, count it from the first row after the buttonhole, make the next buttonhole. This is how it should look like then. As soon as you reach the back panel, you just keep working along this panel by pulling it to a straight line with the side panel. So let's make the first rows together. Now pull it to a straight line with the side part, and you can already see the loop that comes naturally next to your hook. This is the one that you use then. Then chain 1, turn around, chain 1, turn around, and just go back. Now again, pull it in one line with your side panel and see which loops comes naturally next to your hook. This is the one that you use then. Like this. Just poke in there. Just poke in there, draw your loop and close your stitch. Then chain 1, turn around, and this is how you go on. So having a closer look at these loops here on the edge, there's actually no real rule which one you have to use, but just check which one is placed next to your hook. This is how it looks like then. And when you reach the other side, you do the very same. You just place it in one line with the back side and then go on in the loops that are placed next to your hook. And when you reach the last row, it should be in line with the edge of your cardigan. If this is not the case, you can correct that a little by making, for example, one row of slip stitches. And then when it's finished, you just cut the thread, pull it through and weave it in. In the end, you just have to sew on the knobs, the buttons, in line with your buttonholes, and your cardigan is finished. I hope you liked the tutorial. If yes, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.